Greetings, Team Selma. This is Dr. Avis Williams, your superintendent, and I just want to welcome everybody back for a new school year. And I hope everyone had an amazing summer on purpose. And so we've got a lot going on with Team Selma as we start back our new school year. I want to share a few things with you, some things that are new and some things are just reminders. First of all, our theme for the year is one team, one voice, committed to excellence. And today I just want to go over a little bit of information with you about organizational culture and how important it is. Also about our core values and what those core values mean in terms of the work that we all are doing to support our scholars and this entire community. I want to just give you some updates and reminders about our framework for excellence, which is our strategic plan. We're going to talk about our employee expectations for excellence. And then we're going to close by really considering what it means to move from buy-in to commitment. So for starters, I always like to start meetings off with something good. So I'm going to tell you something good for our Team Selma moment. And that is that I am so fired up and excited about our new teachers. And for our new teachers who are watching this, I thoroughly enjoyed meeting you and getting to know all of you and look forward to getting to know you better during the school year. We've got an amazing team of new teachers coming in, and I look forward to supporting you and ensuring that you have what you need to be successful as a part of Team Selma. So welcome. So let's talk about culture. When you think about culture, culture is simply the way things are done here. What are the expectations? What are our values? What are our traditions? And it's like an iceberg where you can only see the tip of it, but there's so much more that's beneath it. And there are a lot of myths about culture. A lot of times people think culture can't be measured and people just need to come to work and do their jobs. And that's an okay attitude to have, but in reality, culture can be measured, and it matters a great deal. Happy employees are more productive employees. And that's why I get excited when I talk about our core values, because one of our core values is, of course, joy. And we do value joy as a core value because we want to ensure that we're lifting people up, valuing them, and celebrating them on a regular basis. Now, culture cannot be bought. It's not something we can get a kit for or a program for. You have to build it and you have to believe in it. And I hope that as we move forward together that we have that strong belief in the work that we're doing to improve outcomes for our scholars. A thriving culture is really built on a set of clear vision, mission, and core values. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. You should have your mission and vision statements posted, our mission and vision statements for the district posted. Our mission is to provide a safe, supportive teaching and learning environment through the collaboration and partnerships of parents and community. So just making sure our environments support what our scholars need to be successful. And then our vision is to be a documented model school district where students are empowered through academic excellence to achieve success throughout their life. To be a documented model school district. I love that. Now, our core values are students first, teamwork, excellence, joy, integrity, and equity. Students first, because that's the core of our work. We want to make decisions that mean that we're putting our students first and thinking about how our work is going to impact our students. Teamwork. We want to work together, collaborate. And this is whether you're talking about within your schools or the larger community, to include our families. Excellence. Just do your best. Excellence is not about perfection. It's just about doing the very best you can and having high expectations, not only of yourselves, but of our scholars as well. And then, of course, I mentioned joy, which is my personal favorite. And that just means we celebrate as we move forward. We acknowledge that we have a lot of work to do, but we celebrate as we move forward. And then integrity. Please do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And we want to make sure as we move forward that we're doing so in an ethical way. And then finally, our newest core value, which was just approved by our board last month, was equity. And equity means that we remove barriers. We ensure that all means all when we're looking at ensuring that all of our students have high quality instruction. All has to mean all. So let's look at things through an equity lens. And during meetings, as we prepared for back to school, we talked a bit about how equality and equity are different. Equality means that we give everybody the same thing. But everybody doesn't need the same thing. You all don't need the same thing. Equity means that we are very intentional about ensuring that individual students' needs are being met. So think about that think about that in your work as we move forward. Now, our strategic plan is called a Framework for Excellence, and we will make sure that schools have copies at the front office. If anyone wants their own copy, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to get you a full copy of it. It's also posted on our website. There are a number of items that we have already started clicking off, even though we've just completed the first year of implementation of this strategic plan. We do have an instructional framework that will be shared with you during your back-to-school activities this week. Teacher effectiveness is replacing educator effectiveness. We're still using the same tool, but it's now called teacher effectiveness. And this is an evaluation tool that we use for teacher evaluations. We opened our parent university last year. Just a soft launch of it, which also includes a mobile unit, which means we actually have a bus, a parent university bus that we can travel throughout the community and go to churches or sporting events so that we can provide resources to our families in a real meaningful, tangible way. And we have project teams for social emotional learning. We have a project team for bullying prevention, and we also have a grants writing team. And as you review our strategic plan, if there are other areas that you see a need, ask us about it, because we may already have a project team, and if not, perhaps we need to start one. And if you'd like to be a part of that, then we would certainly love to have you in a leadership role supporting our strategic plan. We have dozens of community partnerships. That's also one of our strategic planning goals. We have 4 areas. Let me go back just a bit. I got a little ahead of myself. We have 4 areas for our strategic plan. The first area is teaching and learning. And that's our core work. That's where we are looking at, again, what do our scholars need in order to be successful. And of course, we're improving outcomes for reading and math as an area of focus for that. Culture, climate, and community is area 2, and this is where the bullying prevention for our parent university comes in, and we're partnering with the community is also a major focus. So we have dozens of community partnerships thanks to our amazing community engagement specialist, Courtney Washington, who has done an excellent job of courting partners from churches to civic groups, businesses, and so forth to partner with schools. Area 3 is leadership, management, and governance, and that's where we're really looking at how we lead. One big part of that I'm going to talk about in a moment is our EEE, our Employee Expectations for Excellence, which is part of that leadership and management piece, where we want to make sure that we have clearly defined expectations for all of our employees. And then the final area is technology and facilities, and a whole lot going on with that. As we look at improving STEAM and STEM concepts, we have an amazing technology team led by Mr. Earl Coleman that's doing a phenomenal job of making sure that we not only have the resources, but that we also know how to use them. We've hired a STEAM specialist, and although that fits with Area 1, she also will work closely with the technology department to ensure that our needs are being met. And the facilities piece with that, of course, means that we're looking at all of our individual facilities and ensuring that we're using them as much as possible, meaning that if necessary, we're having to consider whether we need to close additional schools or not. That's hard work, tough decision, but that was one of the things that we looked at for that facilities committee. So that's our strategic plan, and you'll learn more about that for our new employees and for our current and existing employees. Please make sure you revisit it because in the spring of 2020, we will have our advanced ed accreditation, and it's important that we all understand what our mission, values, and vision are and how those fit with our strategic plan. Now, let's talk briefly about our employee expectations for excellence. You may have already seen our Employees Expectations for Excellence, or EEE, but if not, your principal will be going over that with you. It includes a letter from me that just kind of defines what this EEE is, and it's really just about looking at how we can support every employee and how we can also have a measure for accountability. It's also given us clear guidelines and expectations. And in the letter, it clearly states that it supports board policies and district policies. It's also aligned with federal guidelines, but it's not intended to take the place of common sense. So make sure you use great judgment, and if you ever have any questions, please make sure you ask. Talk to your principals or to a trusted colleague if you ever have any question about what doing the right thing looks like. But for the EEE, it consists of 12 items that every employee is expected to do. And it ranges from reporting to work on time and acceptable for duty to maintaining confidentiality of information. Now, one of my suggestions is that at each school that you consider some questions as you look at the EEE. And this may be done with your leadership team, or perhaps it's done with your entire faculty. I want you to read them all and just consider, why do we have these? Why do you think it's important that we have not only clear expectations, but something so that we can measure accountability? And how do you think we should use them? One of the things that I've learned in my research is that morale can be impacted when there's no accountability. And so, in other words, if you constantly see people doing things that are not demonstrating excellence and nothing happens, that tends to bring morale down. And so we do think that it's important that not only the expectations are clear, but that all employees are held accountable. Because I said before, we've got a lot of work to do, and we want to balance joy and accountability. We do want employees to feel valued. We want you to know how much we appreciate your dedication and your commitment to Team Selma, but we also want to ensure that the work is being done so that we can indeed improve outcomes for all of our scholars. As you're talking with your faculty, consider, what does support look like? How do we ensure that we're supporting all employees while also having a measure for accountability? And then what do you think 3 or 4 practices might be that would help ensure that we're successful in implementing the EEE? What are some things that we should definitely do? And at the same time, what are some things that would be no-nos? What could possibly go wrong with implementing this? And what are those missteps, and how can we make sure we avoid them? Because the goal is not to be punitive. The goal is to be supportive. But indeed, we must have a measure for accountability. So please make sure you read all 12 of these, and I know your principal is going over them all with you. And if you have any questions at all, make sure that you ask those so that we can ensure that there's clarity as it relates to our employee expectations for excellence. Now, I'm going to wrap up by just talking a little bit about our theme. Our theme is a commitment to excellence. One team, one voice. Now, what does commitment mean? In education, we oftentimes talk about buy-in. Principals are trying to get buy-in from the majority of their faculty members. As superintendent, I try to get buy-in from the community or from our Board of Education. We want to move away from buy-in and towards commitment. I have said my saying a few times, and some of you have heard me say, if you can buy in, you can be bought out. And for commitment, what that means is whether you agree or disagree with all of the decisions that are being made, you're committed to the work, you're committed to the direction, and we're moving forward as one team, one voice. With buy-in, you may make comments like, well, I'll just do my job, or I'll try to look interested. But with commitment, you know that we will work together, and you ask questions like, how can we make our work better? And you own the work, and you own the direction that we're going in. Now, on my part, I do want to make sure that you're at the table as much as possible, or that your voice is being heard. And so a major part of that will be ensuring that as decisions are being made, we have people at the table who are going to be impacted by those decisions. Because I know that's one way that we can move toward that level of commitment that we need as part of Team Selma. So really consider, what does commitment look like in your work, and how can we get closer to ensuring that we are moving away from buy-in and getting to true commitment. One team, one voice, committed to excellence. Be intentional about your work that you're doing, and be transparent. Be open and honest with your colleagues. Be humble. Make sure you're humble enough to ask for help if you need it. Be humble enough to apologize if you need to. Those are leadership qualities that each of us needs to possess. And we're all leaders in our areas of work. So as we're working towards that one team, one voice, and being committed to excellence, let's make sure we're doing it together. Because again, Teamwork is one of our core values. I ask that you all trust the process. If you have questions, please ask, as I've stated, but trust the process. We've got a lot of work to do, and there are a lot of moving parts, and I want you to be a part of that process, but let's work together to ensure that that trust level is there. Just a few reminders. We have our Strong Start Pre-K Grand Opening. It's this Thursday at 9:30, and hopefully you're seeing this and haven't missed it yet, but if not, look at it on social media because I'm sure we've got some amazing pictures of it. Institute is Friday morning at 8 at Selma High School. Breakfast will begin at 7:30, and we're going to have an old-fashioned fish fry and cookout afterwards. So stick around at Selma High School and join us for some fun after Institute on Friday. Our Aim for Excellence 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run is Saturday. Activities begin at 7:30. If you have not registered yet, I did send the registration link with the mojo on Wednesday, on today if you're watching it on Wednesday. If you need to look at the link, go to our website and you can register for our Aim for Excellence 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run. And we'll also have some fun activities for our scholars after that, going until noon that day. So as I close, just really think about our theme: one team, one I messed that up. One team, one voice, committed to excellence. See, excellence is a journey. It's not about perfection. Think about, are you committed to excellence for Team Selma? Why or why not? What are things that you're doing to show that you're committed? What do you need in order to be at your personal best? And how can we support you with that? In what areas do you need more clarity? And again, please ask if you do have specific questions. And then finally, how will you contribute to Team Selma's journey towards excellence? Again, welcome back to another school year. I look forward to seeing you all. Looking forward to seeing our scholars on Monday. One team, one voice, committed to excellence. Thank you.